Oh, what's up, my homosexuals? Bit of a low-key but high-key kind of day. Overall, it was great. I feel really good. I definitely made the right call when deciding to go a little easy on all the hefty lifting, because since my left leg is recovered fully, my left quad tendon, my right leg is now feeling that strain from the compensation it's been dealing with for the past 5.5 months. So it's just been a little bit of a back and forth battle just to get my body rebalanced so that it can fully support its own weight, But I'm very happy with how it's all feeling today. The weight, I still feel extremely primed for all the weights I've been trying to do. On pause snatch, I went up to 185. I didn't want to push it past that because the lockout of my right leg doesn't feel comfortable. It's like that the tendons and the muscles behind my knee are just a little bit strained right now. They're just not as strong as I want them to be pushing heavy stuff. So I'm just going to really take my time with that. And anything with a squat position, I'm just going to go lighter on the warm-ups and just do really good. Like today, I decided to have a little bit of fun. I just because you can always make a lift harder so that you don't have to put heavy weight on, even if the volume's really low. Because I was just going to do singles today, not go up heavy. Stopped at 185. It's like my highest warm-up weight I'll do. So I was thinking of like how I could keep myself from going up to like 205 or 225, something like that. Because I didn't want to go that heavy because it's just not worth pushing it that hard. And what worked really well was I was like, okay, well, we can do some fucking Klokov pauses. If you aren't aware of those, it's just stopping the bar at the knee on the way up on a snatch or clean and jerk for 5 whole seconds. If you aren't familiar with Klokov, I recommend you do, because Klokov is one of the strongest motherfuckers in this sport, and he has inspired the hell out of me for sure. So doing a good Klokov pause will definitely make you put the weight down a good bit and focus more on the technique. And so I did a Klokov pause. I emphasized pausing at the bottom of the catch because I don't normally do that, and I thought it'd just be good for technique's sake. Then I squatted up to just above 90 degrees, paused there, and then did a full squat back down and up to really emphasize the work on my legs, around my knees. And it felt great, Again, I don't think going up would have been comfortable for my body, but I just really didn't want to push it. But the bench press, dude, I don't know where it came from. Yes, the fuck I do. I have been rehabbing my chest as well. You guys know this if you've been around for a little while. My chest pulled twice back when my knee got fucked up originally. And so it's just been kind of a back and forth battle of getting that back under wraps. And dude, it was insane today. Because I didn't want to do any high volume at all. I'm on a more of a fuck around intermission, you could say, before I get back on the program. And I just want to chill out for a little bit so that I can really let my body get back to where it needs to be, confidence-wise, for that heavy shit. And dude, when I tell you I was surprised by my own efforts, I was fucking astonished. The whole goal, just to make it difficult, I didn't want to go too heavy, was doing as slow a tempo pause rep on bench as I could, just for one rep, And I haven't known where my bench is at for a long while, again, because my chest was pulled, and then I had to fix my technique for a long while, and it was just a bunch of back and forth, hard to feel it out, just taking my time with lighter weight. I can't remember the last time I pushed anything over 3 plates, if not 3 plates by itself. And we got there today, man. It was nuts. I didn't count it, but it's recorded, so you'll be able to see whenever you get to it at the end. But it was a really decently good, I think it was at least 5 seconds, closer to 10 seconds of a slow tempo on the way down, full pause, and drive on the way back up. Felt great. It wasn't even that difficult. I don't feel sore at all, which is insane. It's very, very good for the effort that I want to be doing in the future. Because my goal for the current week I was on for the program, whenever I get back on it, was to do 3x4 at 315. And that used to be my 4 rep max. So you could say that we're making some good fucking effort. I'm very, very ecstatic about that. But as good as the weights felt today, beyond that, I just did the accessories, I didn't record them, but I did some good sled pulls, some good extensions, and flexor movements for my right leg, just to really get a good feel of it. Felt good. Did the did the foam roller a good bit, and I feel good. You know, it's just, I'm gonna just take some time off to just have fun and not worry about it for a little while. But as good as the weights felt, you know, physically, I was definitely feeling a solid 9.3. Honestly, if my knee wasn't a little messed up, or not my knee, just I gotta cut, because it's not my knee, it's just the stuff around my knee, on my right leg, it'd be way higher, you know, because I felt primed on the snatch today. My technique felt really on point, no pain or anything. It was just a little uncomfortable, but nothing too heavy, and the benches never felt easier. So it was insane how good I felt. But mentally right now, I'm honestly feeling more at like an 8. And that's pretty odd for me, because you guys know that if I'm physically feeling good, I can normally pick my mental up with it, because I'm normally mentally really into the weights while I'm doing so. And, you know, there was a bit of an occurrence today. I'm not going to spend too long talking about it, because I got to get going. But one of my homies was not really looking like they were feeling as good as they normally do. I'm honestly just kind of worried about them. It's one of those things where when you got a good friend, you can tell when they need a good homie therapy session. You know what I'm saying? Just sit down and talk, or just sit down and hang out. You know, you don't have to get into all the nitty gritty every single time, but it's good to at least keep yourself open to the availability of those emotions, especially with the people that you trust, to inhabit those without any judgment, you know? And it's so important, especially today in the current times, to be able to recognize when a homie really needs some good support. You know, it's always been super tough for people to get a good grasp of that sometimes. My roommate just ran out. But there's so many times where a homie will feel like shit and then just keep it inside and not talk about it, and you can see it packing up in real time, even if they don't recognize it, because they're trying to hold it in as long as they can without burdening other people. And like he said, he even sent me a text, and he was like, "Oh, I don't want to ruin your night." And I was like, "What the fuck? What do you mean ruin my night? I want to be there. That's what the homies are for. That's the whole point of having a good relationship, you know? It's being there when it means the most, where it matters most, where it's not just a want but a need, to have that one-on-one time, that little bit of support that's just straight raw positivity without any obligation or social limitations on it, you know? And not that it got me down, it's just I worry about my homies a lot sometimes. You know, it's not that it's a flaw, but it's always good to make sure you have your own shit figured out, so that when this kind of thing happens, you can support them without taking yourself down with them. Because you got to have enough emotional availability and emotional maturity and not maturity in an adult versus child way. I mean, like, having things that you struggle with in a good positive mindset. You know, I'm always trying to train my positive mindset through a good positive self-talk, through these videos every day, letting you guys know how I'm feeling. And even though I go through my own shit and stuff can get stressful sometimes, it helps so much to be able to do this, so that I can reevaluate where my mindset needs to be for the best potential future. And it's never disheartening, but it's, you know, it sucks. You know, there's no other way to say it. Just in the moment, shit sucks sometimes. When you see a homie struggling, it's tough, because you want the best for them. And even if you know what works really well for you, does not mean by any means that it's going to work well for them, you know? And it can be hard sometimes when you got to prioritize one person over others, when other people may want to spend that time with you as well. But when you got the realest friends, or the realest, like, closest familial people in your life that you know you can trust no matter what, with your personal well-being and wants and worries, you know, regardless of how much they may want to spend that time with you as well, they would understand that in a time of need, regardless of how seemingly insignificant it can seem, it's important to show up, because they might not have that kind of source of support in their own lives, and I just might not know it, you know? Of course they also might, but any kind of different perspective can lead someone to make the growth that they never expected in the first place, you know? That's kind of how my training goes sometimes, when somebody gives me this random bit of perspective, or I give my own perspective to other people, and they're like, that's just that one little step I needed, and now I'm skyrocketing, you know? And I love to be able to see that, especially in myself and others, because it's just that little bit of raw human communication and positivity, that good effect that we can have in each other's lives if you just kind of let go and just feel it out, you know, really give the homie that attention. Just like how with my knee and my right leg now, it sucks, you know. It's not a thing that I want to deal with, but I'm appreciative for the things that I have and the things that I'm able to do regardless. So I'm going to appreciate the time and effort and attention that I give my body while it recovers, so that it can be in the best positive physical I almost have mindset, but just the best positive physical peak my body can be in, because I gave it that positive attention and that time for it to grow on its own, you know? I'm supporting it and I'm letting it have the availability of growing, but it's that consistency and that attention that really matters, you know, showing up when it matters most. Because I'm going to get injured if I keep pushing it as hard as I want to. And sure, I might be able to push it for a little while, but in the long term, you know, you keep letting that negative ship stack up, it'll take over. And it's terrifying what it can do to a person. So, especially working in the psych hospital, I see people, I you know, as negative as it may seem, I see people reach their limit a little more often than I'd like to. But it's nice to be able to see that our efforts can allow them to at least have a bit of a stable ground to land on when they come back to Earth. You know what I'm saying? Like mentally. I know I'm getting a bit more metaphorical than I need to, but my whole point is just, if you know you've got a homie in need and you know that it might help out, even if you're just sitting there being with them, anything's better than just sitting there and staring at the wall all night. Being alone and isolated is one of the worst things you can do when you're in a negative mindset, and you gotta show up for that kind of shit. It's not your obligation, but at least for me, when I truly love someone and I care for someone like that, it derives my own passion. You know, I tell people I like to be selfishly selfless, you know, not that it's for my own gain, but I love supporting my homies so much that of course I want to show up. There's no obligation about it, because I love the homies and I love my family and the people that I want to cherish the most. So I want to show up when I can with as much availability emotionally or physically, not in a weird way, but like in the gym and stuff, that I can be, you know, just any way to get out of the room and just have a good positive self-talk. But anyway, I gotta get going. I know that was a bit odd of a conversation. I don't mean to get too into it, but it's good to express that stuff sometimes. It's very important that we support each other and you have an outlet that can support you when you truly need it, because you're never gonna know when you reach your limit, and it'll hit you like a truck. So, even if it seems like you should handle it on your own and you shouldn't burden other people, it's good to ask for help. You know, I can tell you right now, if you think that you might be asking for too much, that's probably a sign that you haven't asked for enough. It's good to rely and support on the people around you that care about you the most. So take advantage of that in the most positive and productive and loving way that you can, and let it enforce your passion even more in your daily life. But anyway, I gotta get going. I appreciate you guys hanging out, sticking around, hearing it out. Let me know how the lives and lifts have been going. You know I love hearing about it. And tomorrow's my rest day. You know, I know the schedule's been extremely off because of figuring out what to do with my knee, or not my knee, my right leg, just the stuff around the knee. But we're going to be back on a bit more of a normal scheduled program day after tomorrow, and you'll see me. I'll do some clean and jerk work. I'll see what feels good. I don't want to push it too hard until my body feels ready. I'll probably do some 90-degree range of motion front squats, that kind of stuff, not pushing it too hard, but pushing it enough to where my leg can grow in the way it needs to, so that it can properly heal and I can pick the heavy shit back up. But I love you guys regardless. I'll see you later. Bye.